Thank you so much for your testimony. Does either one of you guys have to leave early? If you do, I can. Okay, then let's go ahead and just go through this. Thank you once again for both you guys, the testimony. I just want to start with a question for both. How do we fix it?
So as you heard so eloquently and forcefully, and I can only agree with it from Austin, security is the paramount issue. Everything is going to proceed from that first principle. That's, if you will, the prime mover. And in fact, let me be very blunt. If we don't have security, the other issues that we might be able to talk about today are material. They're materially relevant only in the sense that they are academic concerns. Because if we don't have the security, if that's not established, nothing else can flow in the rest of the country. That is, to put a finer point on it, the keystone in the arch. And that is what U.S. policy is aimed at. That is the paramount, that is the sine qua non of what we are doing, security and stability. Over.
As discussed with the gang suppression force, there are two fundamental obstacles I think that must be addressed. Corruption and a stabilizing function on the other side that looks like a Haitian institutional security solution. Outside of those two things, the endemic corruption and an enduring and durable Haitian security solution, we risk making the same mistakes that we've seen for the last 40 years. What we're proposing today, what I'm asking for the subcommittee's support on, is to take the humanitarian and security initiatives and pair them together through the creation of these humanitarian corridors. We believe that the stabilizing function that can come with that is significant and absolutely critical to meeting the basic needs that you're seeing. As shared, there are 500,000 children that are displaced right now. And so we believe that pairing the humanitarian and the security together brings a significant and enduring stabilization function to the people of Haiti.
If the gang suppression force is fully intact, what's different from the previous force that's been put in place? What makes us convinced that this is going to work if in the past they haven't been able to provide security for themselves?
The humanitarian corridor model allows us to partner with Haitian forces, but through the use of PMCs to inject security.
Partner with private forces or with
Haitian
U.S. military?
National Police and the FAD, as the ambassador mentioned.
But as the ambassador said, there's 6,000, or did you, 6,000 on payroll and 400 functioning? Who said that? That was the ambassador, that's right. So if you have 400 versus 12,000, roughly 3,000 providing the risk, how could they possibly secure the corridor without outside assistance?
Senator, I think I might be able to address that, or at least in part. So the gang suppression force, the first units are supposed to arrive, and they will arrive on 1 April.
Arrive from where?
They're arriving from various places, in some cases from Chad, in other cases from Sri Lanka. These are infantry battalions. That is separate from the UN civil servants who will be running.
And they're pairing with who? With UN forces? They're pairing, who? Are they with Eric Prince? Are they with?
Nope, they are an organic asset operating under a UN Chapter 7 resolution.
Okay.
So they are their own entity.
Okay.
So when this force arrives and begins its operations, which again are on 1 April, that is the turnkey moment when they must be, in accordance with the resolution, they must be on the ground. When they begin doing that, they have a 3-set mission approach. Number one is neutralize, isolate, and this is, by the way, enshrined in memorialized in the Security Council resolution. Number one, neutralize, isolate, and deter the gangs. Number two, secure critical infrastructure. This we can come back to in a second because it does include the roadways that would enable the passage of commerce, of human beings, of humanitarian aid. And number three, enhance the capabilities of the security forces of Haiti. So establishing the security of major routes, that is an objective, a key objective of the GSF, of the Gang Suppression Force. Not humanitarian corridors per se, but just they are functionally one and the same, But again, the mission set is not humanitarian corridors. It's these lines of communication, the major highways.
And who is holding the UN force accountable? Who's overseeing them?
They are being overseen by a standing group of partners. So it's 6 nations, including us. We chair it. There are 6 nations that are in effect. Think of a board of directors, because that's who they report to. They report, a military commander reports up through a civilian special representative. And it's crucial here to underscore that SR, that special representative, is not a special representative to the Secretary General. This is not a peacekeeping operation. They report to that board of directors.
Austin?
Yes, sir. I believe that the risk that we're discussing with the gang suppression force is most of the gang activity that we're discussing is around the greater Port-au-Prince area. They've also expanded into 4 of the other 10 departments of Haiti in total. So we're talking about a 5,500-man force, augmenting a 6,000-man force with the police, as Ambassador Worcester has shared. Comparable illustrations are New York City and the Dominican Republic, both of roughly equivalent population sizes, with 36 to 50,000 force armies and police. Sir, to think that 5,500 plussing up to 6,000 is going to solve a countrywide issue that's 36 times the size of New York City, I believe is unrealistic. And so what we're proposing today is additional security augmenting humanitarian corridors to stabilize these other regions so that we don't have the instability of Port-au-Prince spreading to the outlying regions. And so, we look at the UN forces that were there from 2004 to 2017, the legacy for most Haitians is not positive. It's one of cholera outbreaks and sexual abuse. It was viewed as a foreign invasion. I think what's important here for all of us is that Haitians are seen leading their security initiative. If we are left here without a 35 to 50,000 man force in country, I don't believe there's any hope of sustained security in Haiti. We have the last 40 years that point to that. And so what we're proposing is a dual framework in addition to the gang suppression force to augment, train, and to leave behind Haitian security forces that can sustain in a durable manner.
Thank you.